Is this thing on? I legitimately have no idea if I'm live now, so I'm just going to carry on as if I am. So let me know in the comments. Hi, everyone. This is Saturday Morning Toy Tunes, the weekly live stream from my channel in which we gather around the modern-day campfires and iPhone screens of our... My head's all ajar. Okay, let's start that over. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Saturday Morning Toy Tunes. It's the weekly live stream here on my channel, which we all gather around the modern-day campfires of our iPhone screens and computer monitors to talk about all things that happen in the weekend geek. Also, as usual, I will be... Good. As usual, I will be live posing a Hot Toys figure du jour. That figure du jour, of course, today, if you saw in the thumbnail, will be the Mark 33 Silver Centurion 6-scale figure by Hot Toys from Iron Man 3, part of their long, lengthy, if only Keith Lee were here, the long list of figures that they've created from the House Party Protocol in Iron Man 3. I have several of those. I don't have them all because I'm not made of money and I have diverse interests. But I've got this one and I've got a few more, and I've determined that I'm going to have a House Party Protocol display in my either bedroom or live stream studio. This is the live stream studio. I actually meant the video studio back there in the other corner. Bedroom, studio. It's going to be in one of those. And I'm really excited about it because I'm creating these little mounts that will work with the clamps that come with these figures. And I'm going to have them actually hanging from the walls in that order. That first great wide shot of those 7 armors with not Silver Centurion, but it's actually Heartbreaker in the middle and 6 other armors flanking him. That's really, I think it's really going to be an epic display, and I'm really stoked about it. Can't wait to show it to you guys when I finally do a room tour video, and I promise you that that's coming. Let's see if there's any complaints about the audio or the video. Looks like everybody can see me. Yeah, sorry about that little flub there. There will probably be a lot of those today because I'm all kinds of out of sorts. For those of you who don't know, last Sunday, almost a week ago now, the day after my last live stream, I was in a ridiculously bad auto accident, struck by a reckless driver who came at me from behind as I was changing lanes, probably doing 75 miles an hour at the least through a construction zone. He came upon me so fast that even though I was checking to my left and I could see the proximity sensor on my mirror, it didn't even have time to trigger the proximity sensor. That's how fast she was going. Let me just showcase some, yeah, let me just show off the, see if I can figure out how to do this. This is my first time using StreamYard today, so thank you to all of our subscribers who've made it possible, who made it possible for me to pay for the music that we have on the channel, who make it possible for me to pay for StreamYard now. And here we go. Check this out. This is what's left of my beloved Audi A3. I am heartbroken. I am crushed. I've been living for a long time in fear that something like this was going to happen because I don't have the means to replace that car. It was paid off, and I just loved it. I was planning on having it for another 2 to 3 years, and now that's not going to happen. I'll go ahead and switch over here really quick to a different angle on that. Well, it's actually the same angle, but in this one you can actually see the tire, where she hit the tire. You just look at that bend in the wheel. There was, fortunately for me, there was a woman who was an Uber driver with a passenger who had a dash cam who captured the whole thing as it happened. The driver of the other car almost hit her at an intersection prior to hitting me. And she was talking about it. You could see her like, look at that woman driving like she's on acid, and then just hightail it, just disappearing rapidly into the distance. You could barely see my car up in the front there as I'm changing lanes, and she just creamed me. It was awful. It was awful, just jarring. And that's it. So that's the aftermath of that. I have a concussion. So again, if I slur my speech, or if at the end of the sentence I say the wrong cranberry, then you'll know that that's why I did that. It's a great shout out to Iron Man 3. Not sure who caught that, but yeah. And also I get angry all the time now. I've been really, really, really angry. Just spontaneously, just bits of rage. I yelled at Piper earlier today. Tell me I don't feel bad about that, and I'll call you a liar. But anyway, Dobby was with me as well. Fortunately, he was not injured. He was over on the passenger side of the car. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him. All I remember is I looked over. He was on the seat, and then I looked over, and he was on the floor. He still wants to go on car rides. I've been trying to explain to him why we're not, but he just doesn't seem to care why not. He's just pissed that we're not going on car rides. Constantly hounding me, my hound is. Talking about you again. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Anyway, hope everybody's got their coffee because I'm really looking forward to this chat. That'll be enough of that. I'm not going to say any more because, frankly, I have lawyered up because I was told that the likelihood was that I was not going to be able to receive any sort of financial compensation from insurance because for reasons. So I lawyered up. So we'll see how that goes, and I'm not going to say anything else about it. You can feel free to ask me stuff. If I can answer it, then I will. But I don't want to say too much because I don't want to piss off my attorney. Anyway, I kind of love StreamYard. I don't know why it took me so long. I think I had this mental block. Maybe the crash just jarred my brain in such a way that I was able to overcome that mental block. Oh, look at that, right out of the gate. I'm just going to go ahead and show this before I move on to saying hello to everybody in the chats. But Big Dog Pound has hit me with a $1.99 super chat. That's great, man. Really appreciate that because as it happens, it looks like I'm going to come in just short of the minimum that I need to get paid out by YouTube this month. So that little bit will definitely help push me in the right direction, and we'll see what other things help with that as well. Because as it happens, one of my YouTube shorts went viral, relatively viral. It's viral for me. Several thousand views now. It's the one where I showed off the 3 LAATs that I scored at Target one day. It's just received thousands of views in the past week or two, and thousands of fun comments too. I learned new words like Wojak. I guess that there's a meme that's called Wojak that's meant to be somebody who's like an incredibly sad, depressed person. I was called a Wojak, and I did my searching for it, and apparently my searching. God, there I go. I'm just going to be like this all day long. All stream long. I'm obviously going to be like this all day long. But Wojak apparently is what I found out in my digging. It is Polish for warrior, so I'll take it. I know that it wasn't the meaning that was implied, but I just really don't care. Coffee is good, everybody. Coffee is good. Anyway, so I want to get cracking on this posing bit earlier than usual. But before I do, I want to send a special shout out to our friend Keith Lee, who has proven an invaluable friend. Maybe I shouldn't use big words today. He's proven himself invaluable by running me to IKEA. Ran me to IKEA last night to pick up a lack shelf, a 6 foot, 72 inch, whatever, 74 inch lack shelf that I really needed to help keep my studio organized. I had a bunch of figures that were just sitting in odd places that put them in danger. Keith was in the house last night, so he saw how there were 6-scale figures on the coffee table, 6-scale figures just stacked up on the desk, and just everything was cluttered up and in danger of being knocked over, especially with me in my condition that I'm in right now. And yeah, I don't need that. So he helped me go pick up some lack shelves, got some stuff for himself, introduced me to a great place called Black Market Eats where they have some amazing it's that sushi-like stuff, the sushi bowls. Yeah, I can't even say the wrong cranberry when I can't think of the word cranberry. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Mr. Mom Collectibles. Appreciate it as always for the content. Best wishes for quick recovery. Thank you, sir. Thanks. And thanks also for being a member of the channel. Really, really appreciate you. I also think that wow, I got them. They're just flowing here. I also think that who else? Oh yeah, there's Big Dog Pound. Are you a member of the channel? I'm not shaming you if you're not. I just want to give credit where it's due, and I can't remember. I've got like 22 members of the channel right now, so it's hard to keep track of you all, especially in my current state. Laura Keeles has also thrown some cash the way of the channel. Thank you very, very much, Laura. That will be very, very helpful. Yeah, that'll be very, very helpful. All right, so let's go ahead and scroll to the top of the chats and see who all is here. I'm going to hide that current comment, and let's show StreamYard is here. What's that all about? Weird. Steve Nara, of course, is first out of the gate, at least as far as we can see here. I'm not sure if StreamYard does that same thing that YouTube does, where they cut off the top few chats as time goes on. Not sure at all. So good to see you. I know that you are in a position where you can actually watch the show today. So it's good to have you, especially since Keith Lee apparently can't join us today. I think he said a hi in the chats. Yeah, but he's got work to do. He's got to work today. Inhumane weekend work, but weekend workers make the world go round. Connor is here. Hey, Connor, what's going on, dude? Hey, Terry, do you think Hot Toys will ever make the bounty hunters like Sideshow did? You know, I do. I think so, but it's hard to say. The thing of it is that, and this is just my perspective on it. These are my thoughts on it. Okay, brace yourselves. Here's my thoughts. By the way, really quick before I answer this question, I was wearing this cap when the accident happened, and the windows were down because Dobby likes to smell things, right? And I hit my head on the top of the open window when the accident occurred because she came from behind, and I heard something at the last second. I jerked my head over there, and boom, top of my head hit the top of the thing. That's how the concussion occurred. But this cap cushioned the blow and left micro abrasions in the pattern of the weave. Isn't that funny? I've got a photo of it, a close-up photo of my scalp, but I didn't upload it, so I can't really show it to you. But it's really funny. Incidentally, the hat flew out the window at the point of impact. I didn't know that at the time. At some point, I was like, "Where the hell is my cap?" And then a first responder was just like, "Hey, is this yours?" He found it amidst all the debris, and there was a lot of debris because it was a high-energy crash. Because I'm just going to say it again in case the insurance company does watch this video. She was going really freaking fast. Anyway. By the way, that same driver, when she drove by the girl who hit me was outside. I'm still in my car. iPhones, by the way, automatically dial 911 when you get in an accident. I didn't know that until today, but I was in my car trying to figure out if anything was broken, apart from the car, and she was already out of her car at the front of the car with her hands to her head like this, saying, oh my God, I'm going to get a ticket. That was her number one concern. Quality human being. Anyway, that's all that I'm going to say. Anyway, but back to the bounty hunters. Sideshow's bounty hunters are first rate. They're among the best figures that company has ever created. And I think that they might be the best figures that company has ever created, even to date. That was a peak. That was a pinnacle. Oh God. I got to be careful. Clearly the pinnacle of their production, especially if you're looking at the likes of 4LOM. We always called them 4LOM when we were actually producing the figures, but apparently now the name is officially 4LOM, which actually sounds like a much better Star Wars name. LOM being like 3PO, LOM, 3PO, LOM. I love that. I think that's a great way. Maybe that was always the way we were supposed to say it, but now we know it's 4LOM. But that was a great figure. Zuckuss was amazing. The quality of that coat, especially in photography, is first rate. I haven't opened mine in years. I need to drag it out and see how it looks, how it's holding up. But I predict it's holding up quite well. So that being said, Hot Toys may opt to at least delay, if not forego, the creation of their versions of the bounty hunters, if only because there's really nowhere to go. Sideshow has already done it and done it really, really well. Yeah, sure that Hot Toys has done their versions of Boba Fett, and they've done something terrific in the form of IG-11. But I'm sorry, IG-11. IG-88, great figure, has plenty of points of articulation, almost as many as IG-11 does. Dengar, oh God, freaking Dengar! I just posted a photo of him on the community tab of my YouTube account, and so go look at that because it's just first rate. Who am I forgetting here? 4LOM, Zuckuss, Dengar, IG-88, Bosk. They created two versions of Bosk. The first one was good. They tried to go for a more real world aesthetic to it instead of like the shortcomings of the old school latex mask that was created for Bosk back in the day. They tried to evolve it a little bit, and it didn't. I think that people wanted the original look, and they obliged. They recreated. They did a Bosk 2.0, and it looks fantastic. Part of me wants to sell them because they're through the roof in value these days. If I have them all down in the basement, they're all in a box, and I kind of want to sell them and buy a new car. By the way, tell me if you guys would watch a series of videos in which I actively give you updates on selling collectibles to buy a new car, because it may come to that. I may have to sell my FX X-Wing. I may have to sell my my Darth Vader helmet from Innovos. all the high ticket items might just go on the auction block in order to put myself back behind the wheel of a new car. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, but I've taken up a lot of time with Connor's question. It was a good one, and I really welcome it. But I'm going to move on here. Steve131 in the house all the way from... I really want to visit England, dude. I don't know why. I'm just really feeling the call to visit the motherland. I don't know if you know, but most of my ancestry is English from the London area. Also, it's about 50-50 London and Dublin, so English-Irish. Yeah, I think a lot of people have there, Steve, definitely. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to get used to the interface here for the chats, but it's coming along. Steve is saying Empire Strikes Back 50th anniversary would be a great time for that since Force knows we don't need... I appreciate that the Force knows, but we don't need another Vader. Well, I could use another Vader. Obi-Wan Vader coming down the pipe. Hurry. Mr. Mount Collectibles, we have already seen this here. Thanks again for that super chat. Thanks for the well wishes as well. Is it showing? Am I being weird? Am I being weirder than usual? Keith Lees was here briefly. I know he had to go. I already answered that question. David Lynch's here. Hey, dude, good to see you. Trinidad, California. Never been. What's it like? Watching the stream on the ocean. My brain just had this image of like some sort of a 3D projection of the stream while you're like floating on something on the ocean, but out there in the middle of the ocean is just this three-dimensional projection of me doing this, and you're just watching it over the water. There's like porpoises jumping through across my face and everything. Somebody make that real. Somebody create that and make it happen. I really need it in my life. What's this? Bitter Troll, of course, is here. If you woke just in time, well, it's 10 minutes late, but yeah. Sorry for the lateness, but I really wanted to make sure that StreamYard was flowing and that I knew what I was doing. Legitimately, at the time the show was supposed to start, I was watching a how-to video on StreamYard. Christina Payne is bringing the pain. Good. 14 Wellington also can't join us today, but I'm glad if you watch it in a rerun, if you will, whatever, then I hope you got to, yeah. Terry Smith is here and slurring his speech. That's a relief. Kind of. Yeah, they're not bothering me yet, man, but the headaches are coming and going. I also banged up my knee pretty good. It's been swelling sporadically, but I've been chewing ibuprofen, not literally, like candy. And the side effect of that not only is that the swelling goes down pretty good, but it also makes my head hurt less. So if I'm getting headaches, I'm not noticing them. I'm taking like 4 ibuprofen at a time, 4 ibuprofen 3 times a day, which is more than I've ever taken. But yeah, there's that. This is funny. I appreciate you, dude. Oh. Yeah, I will, and I have been. I spent a lot of time horizontal, if you will. And I'll probably end the stream early today. I usually try to go like 2 hours, but I think the goal is right now 30 minutes of chat, pose a figure, show a couple of other figures with it, call it a day. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, TK421 is here. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. Great content this past week, man. Great content, as always, on your channel. Appreciate that. Thanks for keeping the hobby light and fun and passionate. Really, that's all that we need. We don't need people trying to become self-important, trying to be more than they have to be. It's just we need people who uplift the hobby and not people who try to take it too seriously. So thanks, man. Thanks for being you. I appreciate you. Silver Centurion should be... Oh, it is now. It is now. Steve, man. Hitting me with the ideas. Thank you, sir. Centurious is also kind of fun. I don't think that's a word, but it should be. Are you Centurious right now? Yes, I am. I am always Centurious. Bad Wolf is here. What's up, Mike? Good to see you. Good to see you. Still haven't come across the Bad Wolf Media stickers that you gave me. I for the life of me, I can't figure out what happened to them. Hopefully, I won't have to ask for more. On that note, speaking of the absent Keith Lee, I was able to add to the box. You can see the green and black stickers there from Keith Lee Studios. For those of you who don't know, Keith Lee is also an accomplished photographer, portrait photographer, boudoir photographer. Yeah, man, he does it all. And he's quite good. Kumar is here. Great stuff this week. You got that Mandalorian thing. What was the other one? Sorry, my head's not all there. Not to belabor. I'm not going to belabor that point any more than I have to. How much should one believer? Said the wrong cranberry. Whoa. First thing I see is some girl's butt. Wow. Actually, funny enough, Kumar just actually posted a photo. If I can get this thing to focus. There we go. Of the Mark 7 D100? D100 edition? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Yeah, D100 version. And it looks quite good. Stunning figure. Stunning figure. The paintwork on that is just amazing. But let's go ahead and look and see what the... Oh, yeah. The evolution of Anakin Skywalker. You know what? Now that I've got StreamYard, it makes things easier. I'm actually going to start pulling some of my favorite 6-scale images from the week and maybe just create a folder of those and just showcase some of my favorite things that are 6-scale related that have popped up. So that might be kind of fun. Moving down and continuing to say hello to everybody. Did I miss any super chats? I'm just going to scroll back up here and see if I got all of them. Wow. Again, it does cut off, so I'm not able to scroll back too far. If I missed any super chats, I'm sorry. Like to blame the concussion, but I'm not gonna. I'm just being me. Desmond Hassing is here. That's great. I wonder if we have time to talk about this week's episode of Ahsoka, because I have thoughts. Oh, you're doing a breakfast pizza? Ah, man, I like how you live. Oh, it's the autumnal equinox? Doesn't feel like it. Into September, it's going to be high of 85 here. I'm very put out by that. Wow. That is a great play on words. Wow, man, there's a lot of chats today. Michael Black in the house. What's going on, dude? It's KU fan. So is my sister. She lives over there in on the Kentucky side of Cincinnati, and has a really strange passion for the Jayhawks. I think it's Jayhawks, right? Don't hate me if I'm wrong. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's mild. It's mild. I mean, I'm sure that I could have had it much worse, but still, it's not pleasant. Oh, was it really? Your first ever Iron Man figure, AJ. By the way, welcome. Good to see you here. You know, on that topic, the Silver Centurion was my first Iron Man comic book. The first comic book that I bought, Iron Man comic book that I bought, was the debut of the Silver Centurion. And it was because that cover was just like, what? You know, and I was just gotten done reading what's it called? Secret Wars. And yeah, so that was, I don't know, just great. So Silver Centurion is my armor. They didn't even come close to getting the accurate paint job. That honor actually belongs to the aforementioned D100 version of the Mark 7. That's the closest I think that we've seen to date to the Silver Centurion armor. Please feel free to correct me in the chats if I'm wrong, if I'm missing, if I'm not remembering something. Let's see, some guys also here. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Marlon Braswell is here. Look at the chats grow. Chris Kaz is here. What's up, man? Linda's here as well. Good to see you. I'm going to roll on. Looking for questions. Big Dog Pound. You're the poop, dude. Everybody loves Big Dog Pound. You're the dog poop. I keyed. Oh man. Wow, I'm just now catching up to the point in the chats where people are reacting to the photos. That's embarrassing. Gotta move. Oh, and there's the chats. Okay, they happen further down the line. That's right. I scrolled up past them already. Hope my Hulk issues are resolved soon. Yeah, dude, it's not pretty. You know, the first time it happened was in the studio. Green Goblin. I was moving stuff around, and Green Goblin took a tumble. I was in the middle of shooting. I was on deadline. It was taking more time than I wanted it to, for obvious reasons. And just imagine being concussed and trying to create a first look video with all those lights. It was not fun. But anyway, Green Goblin took a tumble backwards, and his glider, being the way it is, punctured the white backdrop paper when I was already running behind, and I just raged. I bellowed so many lengthy F-bombs. But at the same time, there was part of me that was in the back of my brain saying, what is going on? What are you doing? This isn't you, dude. But it was just like everything was just beyond my control. It was a really weird thing to experience. Big Dog Pound brings up what everybody else is thinking. Smash that like button. That would be very helpful, more than you know. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing that. Oh, some guys dropped a $5 super chat. Oh my God. Thank you, man. Thanks very much. That's very generous. Oh, as is the one from Bitter Troll. Hope your knocking gets better soon. I want to mother you and feed you soup now. That's the first offer I've had for that in a long, long time. So come on over. Come on over. Keith Lee came over the other day, so that kind of broke the boundary. I've now opened the doors to YouTube followers and such. That's great. Renz Tolentino's in the house. Accomplished artist. Very, very solid dude. Check out his Instagram. Mike Games is here briefly. Probably already left, but if you watch it in the rewind, good to see you. Close to 10. Wait, Best Car? Best Car Kid is here. Dude, seriously. Best YouTube shorts in the 6 skill market right now. There's one guy that I just noticed that kind of comes close. Does it in a completely different, well, I don't want to say completely different way, but he's got a slightly different style. But still, man, I really love your shorts. What you've done, I really want to do something similar, but I don't want to ape you, man. I don't want my stuff to. I don't know how to do it better than you've already done it without straight up copying you. It's just so good. It's just so concise. Shows the figures in the best possible light, and seems to do it on a relatively low budget. I mean, it's very simple, but it's very direct, and it's everything that it needs to be. Elegant. Elegant is the word for your stuff. Oh yeah, Laura Keeley saw the video. It looked like she was going really, really fast. Yeah, she was already, when she entered that intersection, she was already doing a pretty good rate of speed, and you can see that she just hammers it. She just hammers it. Everybody else around her is just accelerating at a normal rate of speed, and she just boom, boom. Oh, Big Dog Pound succumbed to the pressure. I didn't mean to guilt you into it, bro. I didn't mean to. I'm blushing now. I'm just like, oh, God. Yeah, that wasn't my goal. That wasn't me trying to pressure you into it, but I'm glad you did. I keep intending to generate some pretty unique content. I may have time for it this week because there are no new figures coming in from Sideshow. So I may have some, my studio may not be totally occupied. Obviously, I've still got to do work, but it'll be work of another kind. And yeah, I'll just have to generate some content for you lot. I have a lot of stuff shot in so far as post turnarounds of the stuff that I've done on this live stream. Because as we all know, when I post figures up on the live stream here, it's basically a rough. Then after the live stream is complete, what follows is a day to a week of me tweaking that post, finalizing it, making it look exactly the way that I want it to look for display. And that's when I shoot the nicely lit turnarounds with the idea of producing like a 2 to 3 minute video of just me talking about what the inspiration was for it, any challenges that I met, all that good stuff. So those videos, those turnaround videos are for subscribers only. So if that's something that you might be into, then, subscribing might be something you consider. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. Anybody else new here? Oh, yeah, I don't consider the Greedo to be part of the Bounty Hunters, but I used to have mine on display with the Bounty Hunters. I actually gave my Greedo to a friend who out in California who did me some great favors. Yeah, sent me some really cool gifts. He works on the Star Wars shows. So, hey, if you're watching, I still don't know if I should say your name. I actually don't have any idea if I should say your name in public, but if you're cool with it and you're watching, then let me know, and I will. Good morning, my friend. Yeah, it's good to hear from you, Harold. How you doing, man? How you doing? Speaking of good content, Jesus, go check out Commander Green on Instagram. I spotted somebody on Instagram that is so clearly aping the style of my stuff from way back when, and I'm just thrilled by it. I think it's awesome. I'm like, it's, yeah. There are two ways you can think about that stuff like that, but I'm just flattered. What's this? I was thinking that's why Hot Toys haven't done the TIE Fighter pilot or AT-AT driver. Same thing. You showcase both of those figures on your channel very well. And you can just see it's very, very difficult to improve upon that. And I think that Hot Toys realizes that when people in the past have paid what I paid for those figures when they came out, which I think was like $100, $125. I know they're going for way more than that now. But one of the questions they have to ask themselves, okay, if we make this figure, are we going to be able to make it better? How much better are we going to be able to make it? And is that amount of improvement going to make it worthwhile for collectors to buy ours when they already have sideshows? So those are very serious questions to be asked when when Hot Toys is considering whether or not to make a figure that's already been done by a competitor. And it's probably the reason why they haven't done it yet. But they keep getting better and better at everything. I hate being unarticulate. When I when I recorded the audio for the Green Goblin video, typically it takes me like 10 minutes tops to record the audio for a first look. It took me 45 minutes. I was stumbling over my words and slurring my speech so much. In fact, if you pay really close attention, instead of saying battery compartment, I said battery part. Didn't even catch it. So yeah, it's annoying as all hell. So thanks for bearing with me. Oh, the gatekeeping. I love it when we talk about gatekeeping type fans. I wish more of them would join us here in the chats, especially today when I'm feeling feisty. All the gatekeeping type fans might come after me, but I'm sticking with 4LOM instead of 4LOM. It works better when you pair them as 4LOM and Zuckuss. 4LOM and Zuckuss? Oh, you know what? I think it was the comic book that made it 4LOM in the War of the Bounty Hunters. Yeah, that's where I first picked up on 4LOM, which makes it canon. So yeah, you can stick to 4LOM all you want. It's like the people who stick with the legends. But yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, that's like calling him 4LOM instead of 4LOM might be kind of like a nickname sort of a scenario. Like calling somebody Jen instead of Jennifer. Right? Anyway. Oh. Well, temptation is there. I'm tempted to sell. You're tempted to buy. Should sell that hat, label it cursed haunted. Nah. You kidding? This hat saved my life. Potentially. And it didn't take any damage. Very, very well made. What do you call that? It's Harris tweed. Made on the Isle of Skye. Or no, wait, the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. Off the coast of Scotland. If it's not made by people in their homes in the Outer Hebrides, or maybe it's the Inner Hebrides. It's one of the Hebrides. But if it's not made by them, it's not Harris tweed. Such a cool thing. It's actually protected by an act of parliament because people were starting to imitate it. Final Fantasy vibe again. Yeah, love this song. It's also very loud. But yeah, I'm just going to be rambling today. That's fair. That's fair. And my self-deprecating side totally agrees with you. Luis Escavilla is here. That's or are we just calling you Luis Escavilla? That's it. Sorry. Yeah, good to see you, man. Welcome aboard. Again, apologies if I've skipped somebody like I just skipped Kenneth Bird. Hey, dude, welcome. It's 10:05, man. I'm running behind. Oh, that's cool. This refers to the stickers. Yeah, man, hit me up with that. Do it. Fair enough. It wasn't in the car, but who knows what happened. Chevelle 210. I'll have to get your info so I can send you some stickers and a custom candle from us. Yeah, dude, that'll be fun. Or when I get a car, I could just drive up there, right? You're in Westco, right? If I recall correctly. Yeah, definitely. Huh. Really enjoying the Ahsoka show. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that really quick before I dive into this. I had thoughts. The episode title was Far, Far Away. Very appropriate because they went to a galaxy far, far away. But what really got me in the feels, and I might get a little bit teared up about it, because it was very, very sweet and very, very touching. But there was that bit where they're in the mouth of the whale, Jonah-like, and they got time to kill, so they're just sitting in the cockpit. Ahsoka and Huyang are sitting in the cockpit, and Huyang mentions the stories that he used to tell the younglings. And Ahsoka identifies, he does. Yeah, Ahsoka mentions the stories that he used to tell them, and he identifies them as the history of the galaxy, parts 1, 2, and 3. To which she replies, I think I wrote it down. The first one being the best, of course. What a nod! What a nod to either the original trilogy or the 3 trilogies, being parts 1, 2, and 3. Right? Did everybody pick up on that, or am I can't be the only one. Somebody had to have picked up on that, especially when, if there was any doubt, the very last thing that he said was when she asked him to tell her one of those stories, he began with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Choked up. Legit choked up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was really, really good, right? Very, very cool. And another note that I noticed was she mentioned that Sabine went willingly, to which Huyang replied, impossible. And I found that really interesting because while we're noticing that Huyang is very much capable of emoting and feeling emotions, like the sadness that he felt when he was holding Sabine's helmet and at the cliffside, knowing that Ahsoka and Sabine were both lost, but not knowing the circumstances surrounding it. But then, so we know he feels emotion, but at the same time, when he's presented with something like Sabine going willingly with what's her name? Yeah, with the bad guys. Let's just say that. With the bad guys. He's just like, impossible. Which to me, he has his own shortcomings when it comes to emotions. I get that. The nuances of human emotion, for instance, like when Sabine thought that she had just lost Ahsoka, when she left with Morgan Elspeth and everybody and all the not a Sith and his apprentice, she had just thought that she lost one of her friends, a mentor, her master, and what she was being presented with was the possibility of losing another one forever, and by that I mean Ezra. So who wouldn't make that devil's bargain faced with those circumstances? Just having lost one friend, and you're like, okay, well, you can come with us, or you can stay here and lose another friend for all time. If you come with us, you might find that friend. If you don't, you never will. So yeah, that devil's bargain is a no-brainer. She's going to do that, undoubtedly. Another thing I wanted to point out, did you guys notice that Morgan Elspeth's the shuttle coming off of the hyperspace ring and landing on the planet when they get to their destination, remarkably similar to spacecraft from David Lynch's Dune. Remarkably, which carries on a grand tradition of Star Wars copying Frank Herbert. I mean, everything about Tatooine in the first Star Wars movie was just ported over from Dune. The dead sandworm that we now know to be a crate dragon, you know, the sand people in the form of the Tusken Raiders, all that. There was just so much. Again, I brought this up before, I know, but Frank Herbert, when he saw Star Wars for the first time, was pissed. Anyway, that's where my notes stop on Ahsoka. If you have anything else you want to discuss, feel free to bring it up in the chats. I need to get moving on posting this, so I'm just going to scroll down, see if I'm going to miss something really, really cool. Bark sniff. Did I do that? It's not showing up in StreamYard, but does it show up? Does the bark sniff thing show up in YouTube? Are you guys seeing it in YouTube? Because the custom things aren't showing up. Oh, you saw that? Yeah, let me bring that up really quick, because there's actually, yeah, I meant to bring that up, but let's see, there's version 1. There were 3 versions. There we go. I'm going to open with preview. Good. And this is me testing my newfound skills on, let's see, slide, stop screen, present, share screen. There it is. All right, cool. Yeah. Oh, it's up already. That's cool. Yeah, that is my Optimus Prime versus Megatron. I need to be careful with that. Sorry, because there's always a possibility that I might just screw up and put the wrong window up. But yeah, that's my latest photo endeavor that I had a late night project. I wasn't doing anything else because I don't have wheels, and just made another photo. I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is the 3rd version of this, the 2nd composition of it. I didn't like how the first 2 versions did not have Optimus's head anywhere in the image, like it'd been cut off. Kind of appropriate given the source material. And yeah, it's holy crap. He's probably not even here anymore, but Ageless L. I'm not going to say your real name because I'm not sure how you feel about privacy, but man, it's good to see you. Ageless is, guys, I'm just going to introduce you to Ageless, my friend Ageless, who looks remarkably similar to how he did when I first met him, one assumes, but just based on the name. But first time I ever played video games online was Rainbow Six 3. And back then, there weren't a lot of kids online. It was mostly the adults who were playing the games. It was on Xbox Live. And Ageless was one of my regular gaming companions. And we had so much fun because it was the sort of game where when you died, you stayed dead for the duration of the round. And you all hung out in the lobby, in the post-death lobby, in this sort of limbo. And you got to talk to each other and you got to know each other. And I'm still in touch with a few people, not nearly all of them, but with a few people that I met doing that game. And Ageless is one of them. It's been a real joy watching your family, watching everybody grow up, man. I remember the first photo that you ever posted of your daughter. She just had on these Mickey Mouse ears. And I want to say that was your older daughter. She had this Mickey Mouse ears. She was just this tiny little thing, like crawling up on you like some little creep. And just like the cutest little creep. And now she's all grown up and off living life. She's not married yet, is she? Hope not. Live your life a little bit, kiddo, before you do that. Trust me. Oh, where am I at here? Oops. But yeah, good. Yeah, he has a pretty unique voice too. ¿Qué pasa, loco? Sorry, I forgot our customary greeting. I think for legacy figures like the added, they have all the time to do it since they are OT. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And I think I talked about that too with the OT figures. That's why we're not seeing anything Han Solo from Empire or Jedi yet. There's so many. There are a few other main characters that we haven't seen. Chewbacca from Empire or Jedi. Would love to see a Chewbacca deluxe sort of figure with the C-3PO backpack and everything. That's going to be expensive by the time they release that. Maybe that's what they're waiting for. I believe they are focused on figures with current setup. Yeah, right now the hype is the TV shows, but we don't know the longevity of that hype. So sell it while it's hot. Sell it while it's hot, and focus your efforts on the classic stuff later on down the line. I think I can probably take this photo away, right? Well, I'm done looking at that. By the way, this is funny. Whatever, dude. Let's see. Oh, you son of a bitch. I traded my New Hope Obi-Wan years ago for something that I don't even know if I have anymore. And I regret that. That's one of my biggest collecting regrets. Collecting is made of regrets. Oh, the headache's coming on. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I can do this. You should always feel like rescuing a princess. That's just my thoughts. What did he say? His finger. Wow. Okay. Yeah. 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 I mean, and by all rights, that should have felt totally forced. But I think that was down to the writing, the directing, and the delivery. I mean, seriously, you can trust David Tennant to. Isn't there a clip out there of him reading some pop star's lyrics? It's great. He's just so good. He's just so good. Hey, Rubbish Bill, good to see you, man. I love the new episode too. It's so good. Scott Heinemeyer is here, checking in. It's good to see you too, bro. Reach out to me later today. Got some catching up to do. Yeah, again, reference to, I don't know if it's a reference to A New Hope or if by parts 1, 2, and 3, he's talking about prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy, prequel trilogy, original trilogy, and sequel trilogy, which chronologically would be OT, PT, and ST. But fuck. But yeah, either way, that would be funny though, because what are Filoni's thoughts? What does Filoni think is the best trilogy? Does he think it's the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, or the sequel trilogy? Because it could arguably be the prequel trilogy, because that's because the Clone Wars is obviously derivative of Attack of the Clones, which is in my top 3 favorite Star Wars movies and definitely my favorite prequel. But what if that was his subtle little jab? Part 1 is definitely the best. What if he feels that way? What if that's actually his thoughts? And you can make a case for it. I'm sure there are plenty of people who were kids when the prequel trilogy came out that feel like it's superior to the original trilogy. Raise your hand if you're one of those kids, because the case can be made. So much potential, and I fear for my wallet. Oh, I brought it up, I think, last week, Scott. If you go back and watch the video, I'm pretty sure that I brought it up. If not, sorry. Yeah, and I'm not gonna have time to talk about it today because I do have some posing to do, and I'm already 15 minutes behind on that. Am I now hard to hear? Hello? Am I hard to hear? Is the music hard to hear? Just checking the audio. That's the thing I miss about OBS, is that I can't see a Sorry, my brain just went crazy. OBS. I can't see, because with OBS you can see there's actually a live feed, what do you call it, a signal monitor thing for the audio, and I don't have that here, and I would like to have that here, but I do not. Hear me, StreamYard. Make that so. I thought Ahsoka's comment was a reference for the 3 trilogy, which was the first, OT being the best. It was about the 3 original films. That's just it. I mean, the clever thing is if he was consciously acknowledging the prequel trilogy, then it's possible that he intentionally left it ambiguous. And by doing so, because of the wording, people can choose to believe that he's talking about the sequel trilogy. Or I'm sorry, the original trilogy when he says the first part. But let's face it, it's when it comes to telling that as a history of the galaxy parts 1, 2, and 3, the prequel trilogy is part 1. I am opening up a can of worms here. Point Dread from He-Man. Yeah, Motu is not my jam, dude, so I don't even know what that means. Really? I'd be interested to know how, because I have a history of Lord of the Rings, and I'm not picking up on that. Well, that's annoying. But as long as it's just what do you call it? On StreamYard, like me monitoring StreamYard. But if it shows up on YouTube, in the chats on YouTube, fine. Thank you, Luis. Thank you, TK. Yeah, they really do, dude. I feel like the Megatron figure is one of the best figures of the year. There's so many great. What an accomplishment! What an accomplishment! I've popped off so many pieces from that in the workings of it, and thought that I'd broken it. I remember complaining to Sideshow, I'm like, you're gonna have to put this thing send this thing to returns because you can't keep it. I mean, it's just it's horrible. But they all went back on. All the pieces just friction fit or pop back on with ball and socket joints. Brilliant engineering. 3-0. Hats off to you. Literally. Yes, definitely so. Yes, without a doubt. If I ever decide to get organized. Oh, look at that. Ageless sent me a super chat. Gift from a longtime friend. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. That's huge. That's huge. This pretty much guarantees that I'm actually going to get paid this month. So thanks, guys. Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's great. If you have the opportunity, go do a search for David Tennant reading Shania Twain's "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." It's so good. So good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I've just about caught up with the chat, so I can do things. Audio is good. Okay, good. That's good to know. Okay, cool. Frequently, that's what the problem is, but I always like to take every request for an audio correction seriously. There we go. Okay, thanks. A lot of the visuals from Ahsoka, the landscapes, the buildings on Peridia, not Duridia, nice, are very Tolkien-esque, of which Filoni is also a big fan. Okay, then yeah, I buy that. My plan was to watch the entirety of the episode before the show, but obviously I only got to the point where Elspeth's shuttle, everything's tightening up. Elspeth's shuttle is clearly influenced by ships and David Tennant's. Yeah, so that where she landed on the planet. That's where I got it. Oh, also, when the rumbling happened, and then there was the reveal of the Chimera flying over the top of the building, I just yelled out, "Chimera!" Like a freaking dweeb, man. Like a freaking dweeb. Oh, man. We got a Spaniard. I've known too many Spaniards. I haven't known enough Spaniards. That's true. That's true. So welcome. I don't want to butcher your name, so I'm going to look that up and figure out how to pronounce it. And if you show up next week, I'll pronounce it. I'll actually pronounce it, and I will do it properly. So making a note. Beskar Kid thinks Revenge of the Sith is the greatest of all time. See, everyone? There are people out there who feel like the prequel trilogy is the best. And I'm saying the Beskar Kid and Dave Filoni are two of them. And I may be shifting that way. Just kidding. It's always going to be animated for me. Clone Wars Rebels, which Ahsoka is definitely Rebels Season 5. Yeah. Get out of here. I've got somebody from Qatar in the house. That is so cool. Actually, it's the opposite of cool. It gets really hot there. Yeah. But still, it's cool. Hot and cool at the same time. Coke and ice. Great name. Usually like to add a little Jack to that. But yeah, not lately. Turns out, and what I didn't know after crashing my car and getting a concussion, is that concussions amplify the effects of alcohol. So one should not drink while one is suffering from a concussion. I found out the hard way. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this bitter troll is between getting viewers from Spain and Qatar in the house. I agree. I love having a global audience for many different reasons. For all the same reasons that I want to travel more. I want to retire to North Africa. I haven't even been there. I was Googling it like last week. Just the plan being to go to Morocco, rent a motorcycle, and travel to Tunisia by motorcycle. Bucket list. That's my big vacation plan. And why do I want to retire to North Africa? The freaking food. Yeah. They've been making food along the coast of the Mediterranean for so many thousands of years. They've mastered the art. Whereas a lot of American cuisine, well, traditional stuff came up from settlers who had to basically scrape together whatever they could find. And while they did a fine enough job at it, there are far better cuisines out there than American cuisine. That's why I always get bothered by Americans who bitch about, say, British food. No. British food is fine, bro. Oh, God. Anyway, but yeah, welcome to Coke and Ice, and welcome to Collectionista. Obviously it has to do with collecting. I'm not sure exactly what collectionista means, but yeah, apparently that means. Yeah. So did I say it right? Collectionista? Colleccionista? Colleccionista. I'm going to say it with an American accent because A, I'm American, and B, fuck it, I'm concussed. Yeah, for me, dude, it's Attack of the Clones all day. If only for the last 30-40 minutes of it. From the arena scene, the beginning of the arena scene on Geonosis all the way to the end. That's it. Anyway, enough of my jibber jabber. Continue to comment if you have any questions or anything like that. By the way, I have another camera set up over here, but there were some technical difficulties. There is going to be a regular guest star on the show. Hopefully beginning next week. And hopefully it's a lot of fun. And hopefully I do the idea justice. I don't have a lot of faith in myself. But, and I'm just going to say it. I'm ripping somebody off here. I'm ripping off Paul Sun-Hyun Lee and his use of Little Boba. Little Boba has inspired me to do something similar on my show. And sadly, it's not going to happen this week. It's going to happen next week. Fingers crossed. Assuming I can overcome that technical glitch. Let's go ahead and clear these comments off. There's the insert. There's a great photo of the figure with a quote. There's always a quote on the inside of these House Party Protocol figures on the insert. More than one, it's this one. But yeah, that's cool. Oh, I don't know. I was thinking that I should go in and grab the. Pardon me, this is gonna make a lot of noise. I was thinking that I should go in. Oh wait. Fortunately, didn't hit a puppy. That hurt. Yeah, I should definitely. Oh wow, they've come a long way. I'm trying to remember where the Mark 7 is because I need to send the Mark 7 back to the Mark 7 D100 version back to Sideshow, but it's still out of the box in the bedroom. And I'm glad that it is because I think that these differences will show up. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to head into the office or the office bedroom and grab that figure. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, my lighting. I need a white card up in here to really make this thing pop. But there is the D100 version, and I'm just going to go ahead and hold up the Mark 33 side by side. And yeah, I think even in this lighting scenario, you can see the difference, and it's not due to the die cast, because especially these elements on the abdomen here, those might be die cast. So maybe it is, but you can just see the silver tones are much richer in the D100 version than they are in the plastic Silver Centurion. They're almost monotonal in the Silver Centurion armor, but on the D100 version, you can just see how they've come a long, long way. They're just rich and lustrous and multi-hued. The reflections are just, I don't know, they just almost appear like more liquid by comparison. And the reds, pretty much the same. So not a whole lot of evolution there. I'm just trying to see what's coming up on the. But yeah, there's such a luster to this D100 version. I don't mean to really make the people who didn't get one feel bad, because I didn't wind up getting one. I passed on mine. That's why I'm kind of clinging to this one for a little while. So yeah. On top of that, I want to say the Silver Centurion was the first armor that that Tony put on, or was it Heartbreaker? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tony's first armor that he put on was the Silver Centurion in the movie. Heartbreaker came along later and picked him up. Yeah, because Heartbreaker is actually the one. Okay, he put on the Silver Centurion armor. Then Rhodey requested a suit, and Tony had to break his heart and say, "Sorry, man, they're only keyed to me, but I got you covered." And Heartbreaker came in, landed, and said, "Good evening, Colonel. Can I give you a lift?" And they flew off to rescue the president. But yeah, there's the portrait of Tony. I got it to focus before. I'm sure I can get it to focus again. I'm sure of it. There we go. You can see it's even for a. I mean, this is nearly 10 years old now, right? What year was Iron Man 3? That's a solid portrait of Tony Stark. Man, even back then they were on their game. We got this faceplate, which I don't think I'm going to use, but who knows? I do think. Here's the deal. Again, the purpose for these posing sessions is basically to publicly create the pose that's going to exist in the display. So that's the plan here. I'm going to, and since Silver Centurion was one of the armors that did show up in the House Party Protocol original 7 lineup, I'm really starting not to feel good. I hope I can get through this. Ugh. Moving like an old man. I wish I had the batteries in it. That would be fun. The figure also comes with a battle damaged chest plate. Yeah, just shattered arc reactor thing there. So that's pretty cool, but I won't be using it because, again, my display will feature the figure in its as it originally appeared. And by the way, for those just joining me, joining us today, you're going to notice that I'm fumbling. I'm slurring my speech sometimes. I'm concussed. I have had a really, really bad car crash the other day. A reckless driver took me out, and I'm experiencing for the first time in my life the symptoms of a concussion. It's my story. I'm sticking to it. Oh, wow. This is one of the old school styles. Yeah, the original clamps on these, what they did was they only clamp at the top. They don't slide all the way down. So through that, you get like the maximum height, and that's cool. I'm going to check on some comments, and then they got cut. Wait, what? NSYNC was on Hot Ones? And then they got cut? That's hilarious. Oh, that would have been. I feel badly for them. I mean, I'm not an NSYNC fan at all, but I'm not much of a fan of anything. I'm a Star Wars enthusiast. But there we go. Get that around. All right, hovering. Now, but I feel badly for them. As people, I feel badly for them. I understand the disappointment they must feel at thinking that you're going to get to be in a Star Wars movie and then having your scene cut. All right. So, again, just for more background, the plan for this is that makes it less fun. Anyway, the plan for this figure, for this display, ooh, loose arms. I might get to implement that. Yeah, they're sturdy enough, but they're going to get loose. The plan for this figure, the plan for this pose is I've come up with a way. I've come up with a design to create mounts, just out of 2 pieces of wood, a single bolt, a single hex nut, and actually 2 bolts, one going through the mount and one going through the top of the cross piece, that will enable me to mount. It's a very simple process, and I'm pretty sure everybody else can imagine it as I'm talking about it, but it will allow me to mount one of these clamps to a wall mount and display my Iron Man figures in a way that when you're looking at them from the front, it just looks like they're hovering right there next to the wall. So I'm really looking forward to doing this and showcasing to everybody what it's like when it gets done. So each of these poses, when I do a House Party Protocol edition, will feature the figure in a stable flight pose. And we all know what that's like. Shoulders back, arms pretty much straight to the side, and feet straight down, just hovering. But the thing of it is you don't want to do that. You don't want that static, everything's just in alignment, everything's straight up and down. There's no differentiation between the poses. You don't want 7 figures in a row in the exact same pose. So the challenge becomes finding ways to have them hovering in the air realistically, while also making every figure appear slightly different. Not so slightly that nobody notices it, but not so wildly different that it doesn't look like they're actually hovering there in place. So to do that, you could just freeze frame the actual scene, the actual shot. That will help, because I'm pretty sure that they're all different in their poses. But I also think, I don't know my train of thought. Anyway, hopefully you guys got what I was getting at there, because it's completely slipped my mind. So typically I do a pose before I put it on the mount, but I'm not doing that today. Oh yeah. Apple box, showcasing all the stickers on the Apple box yet again. If you have stickers for your website or whatever and wish for them to appear on the Saturday Morning Toy Tunes Apple box, you have but to reach out to me, and I will hit you up with my PO box, and you guys can send them to me, and I will happily do some marketing for you. The goal is to make this front of this Apple box so thick with stickers that the original ones get covered up. Be fun, right? I'll touch Joe's musical taste, so you could have a separate channel of just mood atmosphere videos. Kind of the point. Man. I wonder if I should bother to adjust the camera angle. I think I need to. Or alternately, because that's a pain in the butt and might cause damage. Hey, look at that. That works. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, there it is. Everything's just straight up and down, right? There's your pose. No, I think we can do a lot better. Now, what I'm finding is that you can't really get the legs on this together all the way. So I'm wondering, I can't remember if this is something that happens with only with the die cast, but will these drop? They do. That's exciting. And that will give you just like a degree. Like almost not even worth it. Yeah, totally not worth it. See that? That's as close together as those legs are going to get. So you can kind of cheat that. Not much different. So let's see if we can't cheat that by rotating the leg a little bit, bending one foot, bringing that boot up. Okay. Got it. Know what I'm going to do. And I'm hoping that that's unique to this figure. I think that it might be. But let's just go ahead, for the sake of fun, and have him in mid-stop. So that's just going to mean we're going to bring these arms up. And look, I'm totally doing what I said I wasn't going to do. Let's see, that's going to be all the way out straight up front. Let's turn that a little bit, get that head out. Okay, we'll do this leg out front the most. This leg out front a little bit. And do both these back. That's it. Shortest poser video of all time. So instead of just having him hovering, he's hitting the brakes. Doesn't look good on camera. I don't like it. Let's see. Let's try to maybe extend that torso and give him a gut crunch. Might have to take him off the thing for that. Give him a little bit of a gut crunch. Let's lift that. Does the I can't remember the Centurion's. No, he does not have the cod piece here that lifts out of the way. So you just have to. I broke the effing thing. I promise that someday I'm going to break one of these figures on this channel. I promise you. So for those of you who like a bloodbath, it's coming. Just gonna play with this until I get it somewhere that I actually like it. There we go. Trying to imagine it up high. Oh yeah, up high. That looks bitchin'. So it works. I like that a lot. All right. Try to adjust the look of that. Spin that around, and I think I've got something here. Again, I'm going to tilt it down. So that's kind of the angle of view that you're going to get. And again, I apologize for the shallow depth of field. It's making it very hard for this for the camera to focus on it. But yeah, something like that is a very solid foundation for the pose of the Mark 33. And it kind of works too when you think about it, because the figure at the center, the armor at the center, is going to be the first one that actually comes to a complete stop and sits in that hovering pose. But then one by one, they all fall into line. So some of them are still going to be hitting the brakes while the first one is already in its stable position. Who was in the center? Heartbreaker. That's right. So Heartbreaker will have to be, by design, straight up and down. Or not. No one's telling you you've got to adhere to a screenshot for how it's going to look. It just has to have the vibe. Just things to call attention to. Just look how he's slightly, like here, this would be the center line. He's slightly leaning this way from if you just like use the stand as a, God, I'm stumbling my words. If you use the stand as like a parallel line from, it's not entirely stable. But the idea is that there are no right angles. So this is leaned over a little bit this way, just like he's trying to orient himself and stabilize himself before actually going into a stable hovering posture. So that's it. And once I get these things permanently lit up, it's going to look so impressive. So impressive. What time is it? 10:43. I was going to try to keep this to an hour and a half just to give myself a break. The Mystique standing in front of the Superman poster was really messing with my perception of that poster. Mystique will do that. It's just her way. Am I right? That thing's getting boxed up and sold, maybe? I don't know. I gotta buy a new car. So just check out these yes, very much so. Yeah. Just looking at it again, that was my number one reason for wanting to get it. I've got 2 Mark 7s, actually. Yeah. He's not drunk, we swear. It's true. Neither is Iron Man. Just come up here so we can focus on the figure too. God, I love this figure. I'd forgotten how much I love the figure. Why have I not had these House Party Protocol figures on display? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Dude, yeah, and you'd be right to do so. I keep thinking I need to focus strictly on Star Wars, but then something really hot like the Iron Man D100 comes out, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Guess I don't need that Mando and Grogu figure set yet. I will. Some of the time. Yeah, it's weird. I've had some people reach out to me, just arbitrarily offering to send me gifts, and I'm thankful for that. But at the same time, I'm not really willing to give out my home address to just anyone, especially if we've had like no interaction before. So that's the reason behind the PO box. It's just to just keep everything just kind of, I don't want to say anonymous. There's probably few people more open about their personal life than I am. I mean, look at my Facebook page. But yeah, that's the purpose behind the PO box. It's just to protect me and my collection, and to protect everybody out there who's reaching out to send me stuff, or to whom I send stuff, like on the odd occasion that I do have a giveaway here. Because I mean, imagine if let's just say, for the sake of argument, that somebody breaks into the house and a lot of my collectibles get stolen. The first thing that I'm going to look at is who knew where I lived. And you don't want that. You don't want that kind of scrutiny. You don't want that. You don't want cops calling you, questioning you what were your whereabouts, who have you been in contact with, who do you know in the St. Louis area, that kind of thing. I think about this stuff. I'm not paranoid, but I'm just cautious. That's true. That's accurate. I mean, obviously the legs are going to be dramatic no matter what you do, but yeah. Baltimore unboxing. That's a new one. What's going on, dude? I've never been to Maryland. I would like to go to Maryland. I'd like to go everywhere. Who am I kidding? It's entirely possible, Steve Nara, that your typing has a concussion. Maybe your fingers are concussed, much like myself. Liza, congratulations. Wow, okay. We stayed long enough that you were actually able to wake up. Yeah, Linda agrees with me, Steve. That's it. The name seems to imply that, right? Back hurting. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll see. There are certain clearances that have to be met. But I've received approval a long time ago and just never followed up on it, so I'm assuming that approval still applies. What? Look at that. Rune Samuelson is here, one of my Facebook friends from long ago. Yeah, we've been friends on there for a while now. Good to have you here, man. You don't give out personal information. You got a lot of expensive stuff and don't want random weirdos on the internet to know where you live. That's exactly true. Yeah, I'm cool with most of you folks. Like Keith Lee now knows where I live. Brandy Woods knows where I live. Bad Wolf, you might know where I live. I don't know. But you will soon, because one of these days you're going to wind up crashing after a show. So I'm really excited about this pose, guys. I think it's going to look really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and clear this off because, as always, I do have bonus figures to introduce to the display. Let's go ahead and move this microphone out of the way yet again. Get it up here. Slide the Apple box over. All right. First up is Shotgun. It gave everybody a heart attack there. I am going to have to move that camera angle down. Don't strip it. There we go. So first up is Shotgun, which is a super cool figure. Super cool. Man, I need to move these over yet a little bit more, huh? All right. I guess I could have just shifted the camera. So let's go ahead and put this guy in the center. This guy off to the right. Camera left. So you can see that these are kind of evolutions of a similar pose almost. I guess the different legs are out front on each one. But this guy Shotgun is close to actually being lined up for his hovering pose. Whereas Silver Centurion is actually just putting on the gas. I hope I have room for this next one. Make a little bit more. This guy's what you might call a fan favorite. Red Snapper. Who's hungry? Try to spin him around so you can actually see. And again, he's just similar to a Shotgun. He's actually closer to actually being established in a flight pose, but you can tell that he's actually not quite stable yet, probably because he's just so damn ungainly and huge. So something like Rockets. Bitter Troll constantly busting out the great ideas that I never ever do. At this point, it's like I feel like I can. At this point, I kind of feel like I can just keep that going. At this, it's almost like an ongoing joke that I never take any of Bitter Patrol's adjustments, and he just consistently lobs them my way. Yeah, Linda, Shotgun is dead sexy, man. That paint. I don't know if you noticed here, but there's a tiny little python right there, meant to be for photography purposes. This little guy would be like a forced perspective sort of a figure that kind of hovers back there in the distance. They didn't do this for every figure, just a handful of them, but there are several of the House Party Protocol armor figures out there that feature a tiny little secondary figure that kind of hangs out in the background to make it look like all those armors buzzing around that that super tanker at the end of the film. I know that Keith Lee asked early on when I first implemented it, but it's the Z35 millimeter 1.8 from Nikon mounted on a Nikon Z6, and I actually do have it on 1.8 right now, which I probably shouldn't. I should, since given the nature of this show, I should probably go ahead and give myself a deeper depth of field. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not skipping any cool questions. That's totally, yeah. I love it. Collectionista, what are the armors that you like the most from Iron Man? Mine are the Mark V and Mark 42. Solid choices. Actually, the Mark 42 was my favorite armor for a really, really long time. I don't know what my favorite armor is right now. Mostly because I'm inundating myself so much with Iron Man figures in my attempt to actually bring out some sort of a House Party Protocol display in the house. But I want to say I'm really partial to the Mark. I've been partial to the Mark 85 for a really long time. I just love everything that the figure comes with. So you could say that the Mark 85 is still my favorite, just because it comes, when you buy the accessory set along with it, it comes with so much, and there's so many different things you can do with it. But I don't know. I'll have to. And the thing of it is, Collectionista, I would have to say that question would probably have a different answer from week to week, possibly from day to day, maybe even from hour to hour. Hey, look who just joined us. Paul Hernandez. I'm not seeing a blue check mark by that name, so maybe this isn't the Paul Hernandez. Is it really? Tell me something that only you and I would know. Prove that it's you, sir. Prove that it's you. What's going on, Paul? Welcome aboard. I'm going to pause right now for the chats to actually chime in and say hi to Paul, because I know that that's what everybody wants to do. Oh, Red Snapper is just so cool. Also so broken. That head is legitimately held on with museum putty. And that's okay. Oh, is this? Okay, he's got his fists. Okay, that's good. What a relief. Close one. This, by the way, the Red Snapper figure is a power pose figure. Not very much articulation. There's no articulation at all going on in the torso, and limited articulation going on in the legs and in the arms. It's not the most posable figure by design. I can imagine if they made this and just consider all those moving parts that would need to be engineered, like these pistons right here that would have to move in and out if you wanted everything to crunch. This figure not a power pose figure, just like if it would have been just a regular MMS figure, would have been exorbitantly expensive. Hey, I just said exorbitantly. Maybe my I almost said tumor. So maybe my headache, concussion is not getting better. So never mind that. You know who else is here for a house party protocol? Oh no, I moved him. But I've featured the I've showcased the Igor figure on the show before, so there's no real need to do that again. But man, this is Iron Man 3 if MODOK had made an appearance. Yeah. Checking out more comments. So everybody say hi to Paul. What's going on, dude? You guys got a show this weekend? I haven't chimed into one in a long, long time. I'm sorry to say that. I've had so much going on. I don't know enough of them, but I will always love the Mark III just because it's the first real Iron Man. Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's favorite. And for me, the Mark III is like the it's like the Iron Man. Seriously, when you think Iron Man, then I think that your mind is going to go to Mark III, and everything else is just evolution and aesthetics. These two, aesthetics. Want to see something cool? Always, right? But this figure legitimately has like afterburner. This armor legitimately has like an afterburner thing going on here. And that's shotgun. The next one I'm going to do next week is probably going to be sneaky, but it might be heartbreaker. It also might be disco. I don't know. As you can see, I've already posted up one of two of the House Party Protocol 7. Let's call them the HPP 7. And now I've got COVID. Just kidding. Good night, Beskar Kid. I forgot you're nocturnal. Rune is saying, I just got the Hot Toy Star Wars Episode 1 fan message. Darth Maul with Sis Speeder. Not all a bit late to the party, man, but we don't discriminate here for that. I've picked up some late figures myself lately, and it's always a relief when you finally get them. I have that figure, and I don't think I've opened it. I was downstairs looking for it not long ago, and I couldn't find it, but I know I haven't sold it. It's down there somewhere. But that basement is trash, by the way. When I first moved here, it looked like the basement. It looked like the warehouse at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now it looks like that same warehouse at the end of the prologue to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There we go. Okay. Yeah, dude. Seriously. Props to Adi Granov. Am I right? Yeah. Who I think still designs these armors. I just love the look of this pose right here at this angle. Let's bring him back into focus and eliminate that comment. I think from this particular angle especially, I just feel like it's on fire. It just looks really dynamic, as it should. And look how effective that Python is. That little tiny armor is, and especially at this shallow depth of field, it really provides that sense that it's flying off in the distance. Isn't that cool? Actually, you're probably right, Bad Wolf. The spiders probably sold the mall on eBay. Who am I missing? Oh, solid. All right, winner, chicken dinner. Anyway, that's it. Let's go and move shotgun out of the way so I can get back in here. God, I love that shotgun figure. The Python just fell off. These things don't fasten very tightly onto there. I have to work on that. God, yeah, but everything about that. Just look how. I'm just going to bring this guy in so you can see get some close-ups on shotgun. If it'll come into focus, but look at the details on that. And this is not a die-cast figure, guys. This is all plastic. The hype surrounding the die-cast is just that. It's hype. And in point of fact, you can get better details out of plastic than you can out of die cast. So when you're calling for more die cast elements in your Iron Man figures, you're calling for a loss of detail in the components. You're sacrificing detail for heft, for that perception of quality. When in point of fact, the quality is really always going to be in the paint on these things. That super cool mask. I want to say this one also comes with the Tony Stark portrait. Pretty sure that with the house, when it comes to Hot Toys House Protocol HPP armors, the ones that come with Tony Stark's portrait are the ones that he actually took command of during the final battle of Iron Man 3. But I could be wrong. There might be an exception or two. Anyway. Yeah, right? Yeah. Die-cast, the promise of die-cast is not necessarily a prerequisite for quality. Now, I will say that since these armors came out, Hot Toys has made giant strides in the engineering of Iron Man figures, and you are able to get a greater range of motion and potentially more points of articulation out of the figures as well. So they're always moving forward, Hot Toys is. You can always count on them for that. All right, guys. It is 11 o'clock, exactly 90 minutes after I started this live stream, in which I've talked a lot, stumbled over my words a lot, showcased some really awesome photos of my now deceased car. And there I go. I did it again. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your well wishes. Thank you so much for everybody who dropped super chats. It was like I think it was a record super chat episode. So that's gonna help a lot. I actually have my eye on a little piece of equipment that's gonna make doing things in StreamYard a whole lot easier. What's it called? I think I already closed out the window, so never mind. But anyway, my headache is coming back. So I do need to go lay down. I do need to go kick back and just take it easy for a little bit. This has actually been more exhausting than I thought it would be. Just watching everybody say goodbye, and appreciate you. I feel very lucky to be here after last week's car crash. Last week's episode very well could have been the last. If she'd hit the car 2 to 3 feet further back, this would have been a completely different weekend for me. So Cool and the gang, guys. Cool and the gang. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, be good to your plastic. Bye.